Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator, and in this video, we're going to talk about that Ohio train derailment a bit more because it's made some more news this week. And Daily Mail said we basically nuked the town, and the residents are demanding urgent testing of their homes, but the officials say, no, hey, no worry, it's safe to return. Okay. Natural News over there, Mike Adams, um, called this Enviro terror as toxic gas cloud unleashed when authorities set fire to vinyl chloride to disperse it over skies, farms, and rivers. Okay, this is um, Natural News Mike Adams. That's important for later on. So, Leo Homan, now he's always on stevequayle.com. He said the extent of the chemical disaster in Ohio is being covered up. Oh, surprise. Um, yeah, Citizen Free Press covered it. Infowars here says that the train derailment is a sign of economic warfare. You'll listen to Harrison Jones to Harrison, what's his name? Harrison Smith. Yeah. So yeah, you can listen to Harrison Smith to find out about that. But they point to these citizen journalists who broke through the media blackout. They talk about there was a bizarre movie about a train derailment and airborne toxic event in Ohio where the real thing happened. It was just filmed. It was a Netflix series. Tucker Carlson just even talked about it too. It was called White Noise. And some of the extras in the movie are actually people who are now living out the event right now. So that's just always interesting in that a lot of things are predicted, in the news. Um, and then there was two more. Multiple trains derail in Texas and South Carolina. Oh, one was carrying hazardous materials. Hazardous materials are all over our roads, our railroads, our waters every day. Okay? You drive by the trucks all the time. They say hazard, you drive by them all the time and you just don't think anything about them until something happens. And this right here happened. And what is it being called? Oh, that's right. Let me see. Enviro terror, according to Mike Adams at Natural News. And so here's just some images. I mean, this was the fire, okay, and that's the cloud going up. This this was in. This is the cloud. People. I'm assuming were evacuated from this, but yeah, everything where that air was is just safe right now. So that's right there in the communities, and okay, so they say thousands of farms may be affected by this. There is just dead fish in waterways, at least 10 miles away. Okay, so we're going to hear this guy talk here. Caggiano, Cagano, a hazardous material specialist and former fire department chief. Okay, and here he is.
Nuked a town with chemicals so we could get a railroad open.
The U.S.
Okay, and here he is a little further in that same video.
I was kind of surprised that when they quickly told the people they can go back home, but then said if they feel like they want their homes tested, they can have them tested. I would have far rather they did all the testing.
Okay, and this is the last part of him in this same video.
Early.
Oh, there's a lot of what ifs, and we're going to be looking at this thing 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line and wondering, gee, cancer clusters could pop up, well water could go bad.
Now remember, he was a hazardous materials specialist and a former fire department chief. So that guy knows what he's talking about. And then Pete was out there and didn't even make a statement about this. And Libertarian Party Mrs. Caucus says that um, it is currently emitting massive amounts of carcinogenic compounds into the air. This alone would be enough to be interesting, but it seems there is more to the story. Norfolk Southern, who is the railroad, I think, seems to be operating hand in hand with the government in this area. And I mean, look at this cloud. This cloud almost looks like a mushroom cloud. And that is just the picture of the cloud. Have you ever seen just a cloud just kind of go up and get flat and then, I mean, disperse over this huge area? Just that is just filled with nothing good. And so, Infowars was applauding citizen journalists. So let's see what they have to say. Johnny Midnight says that the place is inhabitable. Says Red Cross, etc. is a no-show. So Jimmy Levy says that chemicals are killing cattle and fish found hundreds of miles away. So yeah, and reports are being silenced. Yeah, and a bunch of them, they talked about all of the dead fish. And right here, VidMax says that, and it's killing fish and foxes miles away and getting residents very sick. Now, you haven't heard that on the mainstream news. From what I hear, this isn't even covered on the mainstream news, yet they're calling it Ohio's Chernobyl. And Glenn Beck had on a witness that a train derailment is causing a war zone scenes in Ohio, and who that person was is Katlin Schwartz Zader. Yeah, I'm not sure how to say that, but she operates a kennel, and yeah, she has like 35 acres, I think she said. I think she's talked about some horses too, and they're not going back. She doesn't know how she can have her land and pay for her whole operation that she's built on 35 acres, and then go off property and do the same thing somewhere else and keep her business going. This land is her business. So Glenn did this. It was 15 minutes with her. I listened to it, and the funny thing about all of this is, especially right here with Mike Adams. This is done. This article isn't just by Natural News, it's by Mike Adams. Okay? Mike Adams, who, no, I have not gotten to him directly, but I emailed Brighteon enough, the situation report, a situation update, I think. And Mike will not give you good environmental news. Okay? So what I did here tonight is I went to, Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson will not give you good environmental news. We all know Project Veritas won't. Infowars, Alex Newman, the SGT Report, Dan at Press for Truth, Rebel News, Bobby Kennedy, Gore, the UN, Redford, Greta, Gates, McKibben, Vale, 350, 60 Minutes, Trudeau, Patagonia, the Glenn Greenwald, Huffington Post, One, Trudeau, Mediaite, the Royals Earthshot, Lisa Haven, Restricted Republic, The Situation Update, Mike Adam, that Ivory should be heckled out of journalism, Laura Logan, here's that kennel owner, here is the lawyer to the donors of Project Veritas, who I've been emailing him this week, telling him to get to the donors who just proved that they have a big say in what Project Veritas does, even though James O'Keefe has said, our donors don't tell us what to do. Well, maybe not to date, but as soon as, big donors, when they give money, if something goes astray, then they step up to the plate and remind who they're giving to how that place is in business. So these donors have a lot to say about how Project Veritas is run. So I've been trying to get to them what frauds James O'Keefe and Project Veritas are and how they won't do their job. Right here, this is Greg Hunter, USA Watchdog. Here's a Project Veritas donor. She put out a video about how she supports O'Keefe. This is her. I tried these two emails on her website, and they haven't come back to me. But I tell these people that Catlin, that kennel owner, potentially destroyed. I said a woman who suffers from all of your inaction, refusal to do your job, is on this distribution. I tell the Project Veritas donors' lawyers, again, get this to your donors with all the emails that I've sent him this week. Of course, he hasn't replied, of course, but we're going to do a video on that. And, that's that Diana Remmers, too. I said, O'Keefe, it was your job to expose all the environmental and indie media frauds whose inaction caused this event. Okay, that includes Alex Jones because, the credo of journalism, without fear or favor. And, Project Veritas is truth, the one truth. It runs from nothing, hides from nothing. We expose corruption, if only that were true. And I say journalists, actually, the lack of one journalist anywhere is what caused this catastrophic Ohio event. Yes, you, independent media, caused this event. Had you done your job and reported quality environmental information, the Ohio train derailment event would have never happened. Okay, maybe the derailment event would have happened, but all the toxins wouldn't have been on the train. Okay, the environment goes further than global warming. Had environmental voices allowed real solutions since November 93, we would have ended our disposable society and packaging, which means plastics, and gotten into hemp. I don't put everything in every email I send, but I said plastics made from the chemicals being transported, chemicals that would not be being used, therefore transported if we stopped using them. So had the media done their job and gotten environmental voices in line and actually on solutions, this wouldn't have happened. And at least if the media had done their job and exposed these fraudulent environmental voices, well then, the media did their job. I mean, you can't go make Al Gore, Robert Redford, Greta, Bill McKibben actually give you solutions. But the media's job is to expose them. And then good would have happened. Okay? And at least the media would have done their job. But they haven't. So I said not reporting all that environmental voices are preventing solutions frauds is irresponsible journalism, proven catastrophic, and why these chemicals were being transported. Hello? Will anyone finally be a journalist? Will any environmental voice finally allow solutions? Well, I doubt it, but I ask. And then I also, I sent this to Glenn Beck tonight. Now, I haven't tried info at Glenn Beck. You have to use a form. So I said every environmental voice who has prevented the real needed sensible environmental solutions the world needs is responsible for this event. Those chemicals that makes plastics would not be being used because I would have ended plastics by ending our disposable society and instead made reusable hemp everything. That's since November 93. I'm like, the world needs to know this truth. And this is a video I put out the other night. And then who else did I text tonight? Oh, that's right. Bobby Kennedy over at Children's Health Defense. And every day I start my text saying, get this to Bobby and Top CHD. I said, kids' health is being battered in Ohio right now due to chemicals, toxins used to make plastic. Chemicals that would not be being used if any environmental voice allowed solutions since November 93. That includes you, Bobby. You are responsible for, that should be this. Okay, I'm available to get to work immediately. Is Bobby Kennedy going to care? No. Not until Project Veritas exposes him. Not until maybe Tucker Carlson does his job. Alex Newman, Infowars, Alex Jones, any of them? If any of them had done their job, Greg Hunter, I mean, the Laura Logan, okay, this fool here, oh, she's just such a fool. Mike, situation update, Lisa Havens, and all these people, they preach God all the time. God, 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 God. Sean at the SGT Report, um, you know, but do they have any respect for God's creation? Global warming is not real, man. They will not give you any good information. And you know what? They truly are responsible for this. And you really can't argue against that. Had they done their job, these chemicals most likely wouldn't be being transported. We wouldn't be using them. And they're used on a constant basis. And in the video I did the other night, the NRDC guy, I think it was, he's like, yeah, I mean, these leaks happen all the time. It happens all the time. It's just when they're big like this is when they get a lot of press. But this isn't uncommon. The scale of this is uncommon. But the incidents, the danger, when we don't have to be doing any of this. All we need to be doing is living responsibly and definitely leading with hemp and ending our disposable society and gaining individual cooperation. And right there, all of these plastics wouldn't be being made and we wouldn't be using all of these toxic and chemicals that all of these independent medias, well, maybe not all, most, a lot, they sell. What do they sell? Oh, that's right. Detox kits to detox your body from the chemicals they will not help you not take in. Even though, what does Mike Adams call it? Oh, Enviro-Terra. Brought to you very much in part by Mike Adams. Now he fails to mention that, but it's true. So stay tuned, people.